PRINCE2 and the risk theme. Now, when you pick up and have a look at this chapter in the book, you'll see it's pretty full. And one of the reasons for that is they based it on the UK government best practice management of risk. And if you're really interested and get excited by risk, we can offer you that course as well. Okay, so what do we know about risk? Well, it's one of those things that's often neglected, which is amazing, really, because when you think about it, it's risks that are going to kill your project. And so many projects get knocked off course by risks that it's unbelievable. All right, so there'll be risks that you know about at the start. There'll be risks you don't know about. And those are the ones that you can find by doing lessons learned and a bit of research. Okay, so some upfront effort can save a lot of pain later on. Risk management, also I've noticed at boards and in teams is kind of neglected a little bit. And if you stand back and think of the psychology of risk, having to look at a long list of things that could go wrong with your project isn't actually that much fun. And I think that's part of it, the risk register process. Because very rarely does a single risk kill your project. It's normally a combination of risks that go together or they knock onto each other and cause other things to happen. So it's quite a complex area, and there's quite a high level of professionalism in some organisations with this. So let's just quickly rattle through what PRINCE2 talks about. So there's two things at the start that you might want to get to grips with: threats versus opportunities. All right, so threats are the traditional negative things that can happen to your projects. But we've got to remember that the word risk means unpredictability. It doesn't mean underpredictable bad things. So we also have opportunity risk, good things that could happen. Yeah. So if we take certain management actions, we can reduce the bad things and we can increase the likelihood of the good things happening. And that's what we call responses to risks. So there's 6 of them that the manual talks about. If you're talking about responding to a risk, yeah, there's 2 options. You can exploit it if it's a opportunity, which means you take actions to make it more likely to happen, or to make it a bigger effect. Yeah. Or there's avoid, which means we go around it and we do something else. So if you've got some options in your business case, one of them is the high risk option. You may decide not to go down that path and go the long way around. All right, so that's avoid. Then we've got the concept of enhance or reduce, which is if it's an opportunity, we do something to make it more likely, but we don't really go out of our way, which is what happens with exploit. Similarly, we try to reduce it. We kind of accept that this risk is there, but if we do certain things, we can reduce the impact on our project. So that's reduce and enhance. And then there's some other ones. Share applies to both. So you could choose to share the benefits of a positive risk happening, or an opportunity. So you and a supplier could say, well, if this happens, you can have some of the money and you'll make a bit more profit and we'll have it at a cheaper rate. How about that? Yeah, so that might be a way of sharing it in one way. And the same with a bad risk. Yeah, so if a threat's happening, you might say, actually, if this happens, you're going to lose out a bit, Mr. Supplier, but we'll take a bit of a hit as well. So that's sharing it. Transferring it is giving it to somebody else. Now that's you've always got to remember, you can only transfer money risks. You can't actually transfer your whole risk. So if the reputation of your organisation is at risk as a result of a project, you can't transfer your reputation to the supply chain, right? You're always going to be who you are. The obvious one for that is actually your car insurance, yeah, or insurance of a house, whatever it is you do, because you would insure it, you'd pay somebody money to actually take that risk off your hands. So that's really where transfer is. And then there's the one called accept, where you say, actually, if it happens, it happens. Yeah, and if it doesn't, there we go. We'll hope it doesn't happen. And that can apply to an opportunity. It can also apply to a threat. And finally, we've got contingency plans, because against all those options that I've just mentioned, you would have a plan to react to one of them developing. And so you should have contingency plans for pretty much every risk. Or if you're really clever, you'll work out which risks relate to each other. A little lesson that I've actually got from looking at risk registers is that people tend to not focus on threat and opportunity. They create lists of things that could happen. So always try and look at your risk register and say, is that actually the threat, or am I looking at the consequences of the threat? Yeah, just ask yourself that. It's a good question to ask. All right, the other thing that comes out of risk in PRINCE2 is what they call a management procedure. So it's got a whole bunch of guidance on how to identify risks. When you've found them, how do you assess them? Yeah, against what criteria, what's impacts it going to have on you? and then you plan, which is when you use one of the responses, and then you implement it. So there's your 4 stages, and then they've got a 5th one, communicate, which means you're talking to everybody all the way through. So it's not really a stage, it's more of a thread that runs through each of the other 4. All right, so that's PRINCE2 Risk. Hope I didn't rattle on too much about it. Hope you get a lot out of the course, and if you've just watched the video, hope you enjoyed the video.